Spice and Wolf, Volume 18, Spring Log by Isuna Hasekura. The Margins of a Journey. The story opens with a funeral procession making its way through a snowy village. Lawrence, the owner of the Spice and Wolf bathhouse, is leading the somber event. In the coffin lies his wife, Holo, a wolf spirit in the form of a teenage girl. As he sits beside her in the church, Lawrence reflects on their life together over the past 10 years in the hot spring village of Nyohhira. The scene flashes back to a typical busy winter day at the bathhouse. Lawrence is run ragged, managing the staff, guests, musicians, and all the little details. His only respite is Holo, still lounging in bed avoiding the morning chores. They playfully bicker as Lawrence bribes her with wine and food to get moving. Holo teases him about their daughter Myuri eloping with their longtime helper Call, much to Lawrence's chagrin. He's in denial about the budding romance. Later, Lawrence meets with the other bathhouse owners to discuss ideas for attracting guests during the slow spring and fall seasons. Lawrence suggests holding mock funerals, where people can say things they normally hold back while still alive. The others are intrigued by the novel idea. Back in the present, Lawrence tenderly wakes Holo from the coffin, completing the funeral ritual. He explains his hope that the new tradition will remind people to appreciate their time together, just as he cherishes every moment with Holo, despite knowing their days are numbered given her immortality. They share a poignant kiss, their love as strong as ever, golden memories. Years later, Lawrence is struggling to keep up with the bathhouse chores after Myuri and Call left to travel together. A mysterious old man named Ceres arrives as the only guest, moving between the inns searching for something. Lawrence learns he's a chef for a southern royal family, hoping to recreate a special ale the ailing king once enjoyed in Nyohhira with his bride 30 years ago. Ceres explains that the unique flavor came not just from the water and ingredients, but the joyful atmosphere between the princess and a young man she met before her arranged marriage. Lawrence and Holo are touched by the poignant tale. They ask the other villagers for help, learning of a spring with famously pure water. However, Ceres is still unsatisfied after brewing with it. Lawrence realizes the missing element is the cheerful air between him and Holo that permeates their bathhouse, the key to that memorable ale from long ago. Ceres smiles, his search complete, thanks to their heartwarming bond. As winter ends, Lawrence prepares for the grueling work of tallying and transporting all the year's goods to sell in the town of Svernal. Holo insists on accompanying him, not wanting to be left behind. The couple sets off, their playful banter and deep love keeping them warm on the journey, just like in their traveling merchant days from over a decade ago. Though their adventures are smaller in scale now, their hearts are fuller than ever. Muddy Messenger. Lawrence and Holo arrive in the bustling town of Svernal, where merchants eagerly await the latest goods from Nyohhira. Lawrence meets with Myuri, an influential trader and one of the few who knows Holo's true identity. He asks for help finding trustworthy new workers for the bathhouse. Myuri suggests Selim, a shepherd who recently lost his flock to illness. The young man is honest and hardworking, unfazed even after Myuri discreetly reveals Holo's wolf ears. Lawrence is impressed and offers him a job on the spot. Selim happily accepts, eager for a fresh start. Next, Lawrence seeks out Eve, a merchant who once betrayed him and Holo, but has since become a close friend and business partner. She now uses her cunning to support the church in various ventures. Lawrence asks if she knows any potential musicians for the bathhouse. Eve recommends Aram, a skilled flutist who moved to Svernal after his noble patron passed away. However, the proud man refuses to play for anyone else, working odd jobs instead. Lawrence and Holo visit Aram and manage to convince him to return to his true calling. Holo even shifts to her wolf form to inspire him with an otherworldly performance. Aram agrees to give the bathhouse a chance. Their errands complete, Lawrence and Holo take in the festival sights and sounds. Holo delights in the exotic foods and lively atmosphere. They pause to watch a troupe of traveling performers, whose costumes and dances remind them of old friends like the shepherd girl Nora. Though their paths may never cross again, the memories of their journey live on. As the couple walks along the riverbank at sunset, a muddy young boy runs up to them, a crumpled letter in hand. Lawrence recognizes him as Lant, an orphan he and Holo once helped find a home in Svernal. The boy excitedly explains the letter is from Myuri and Call, who encountered him by chance in a faraway town. Lawrence and Holo are overjoyed to hear of their daughter's adventures and budding romance with Call. The story ends with them vowing to continue supporting each other and their growing family, no matter where their journeys lead. For now, their greatest adventure is the one they share together in Nyohhira, creating a warm haven for all who visit. Wolf and Wolf back in Nyohhira, Lawrence and Holo settle into a new routine with their additional helpers Salim and Aram. The bathhouse has never been livelier, with Salim's diligence and Aram's mesmerizing flute filling the halls. Even the regular guests comment on the refreshing atmosphere. One day, a familiar face arrives, Huskins, the miller from Paslow, where Holo lived for centuries. He's stunned to see Holo hasn't aged a day. She explains her true nature and introduces Lawrence as her husband. Huskins reveals the villagers in Paslow have been dealing with a strange wolf causing mischief, eerily similar to Holo's antics from long ago. Holo is intrigued and insists on traveling back to investigate, with Lawrence in tow. Upon arriving in Paslow, they discover the town drastically transformed, with waterways and mills harnessing the river's power. Holo is amazed at the changes, a bittersweet reminder of time's passage. The couple questions the villagers about the wolf sightings. They learn it only appears on moonlit nights, stealing food and playing tricks. Holo spends an evening lying in wait in the old wheat fields. At midnight, a large wolf emerges from the forest. Holo calls out to it. To their shock, the wolf transforms into a young girl who looks just like Holo, with matching ears and tail. She introduces herself as Yoitsu, Holo's daughter from long ago. Centuries earlier, Holo fell in love with a traveling merchant and bore Yoitsu. However, Holo knew she couldn't raise a child while bound to the wheat fields. She entrusted baby Yoitsu to a trustworthy wolf pack in the north, intending to reunite with her someday. Yoitsu explains she came searching for her mother after the pack elders passed away. The bittersweet reunion brings Holo to tears, overwhelmed by guilt and joy. Lawrence comforts her, understanding Holo did what she thought was best. Yoitsu assures Holo she lived a good life with the pack and harbors no resentment. Holo invites Yoitsu to live with them in Nyohhira. She hesitates, feeling out of place in the human world. Lawrence suggests she stay in the forest near the village, visiting whenever she likes. Yoitsu agrees, comforted by the nearby presence of her mother and new stepfather. As they make the journey back home, Holo reflects on the strange twists of fate that define her long life. She thanks Lawrence for his steadfast love and support, which have brought her more happiness than she ever could have imagined. The couple returns to Nyohhira with a new spring in their step, eager to introduce Yoitsu to Myuri and Call upon their return. Parchment and graffiti. Months later, Lawrence and Holo are enjoying a peaceful afternoon in the apple orchard behind the bathhouse. The mock funeral tradition has been a great success, with visitors coming from far and wide to participate. Salim and Aram have settled in nicely, and even Yoitsu stops by frequently, gradually adjusting to village life. Their tranquil moment is interrupted by the arrival of a merchant caravan led by a familiar face, Fran Vonelli, the art dealer they met during their travels. Fran explains he's transporting a valuable illuminated manuscript to a remote monastery. The abbot there is known for collecting rare texts. Fran asks if they can store the manuscript in the bathhouse vault overnight, as the mountain roads have become treacherous with early snow. Lawrence agrees, recalling how he once helped Fran recover a precious text from a band of thieves. Fran entrusts Lawrence with the ornate key to the manuscript's chest. That night, Lawrence is startled awake by a loud thud. He rushes to the vault, finding the door ajar and the chest empty. The manuscript is gone, with only a scrap of parchment left behind, featuring a strange symbol. Lawrence wakes Holo and the rest of the household to search for clues. Salim discovers a set of muddy footprints leading out of the bathhouse and into the forest. Holo catches the scent of the intruder, an unfamiliar man with traces of incense and parchment. They deduce he must be a monk or scholar. Aram notices the symbol on the parchment scrap, matches the insignia of the monastery where the manuscript was headed. Lawrence and Holo leave Salim and Aram to watch over the bathhouse while they join Fran in confronting the abbot. Along the way, Fran shares his suspicions that the abbot has been hiring thieves to steal rare books, then claiming them as donations to avoid suspicion. When they arrive at the monastery, the abbot denies any involvement in the theft. However, Holo's keen nose picks up the scent of the stolen manuscript hidden behind a false wall. She also notices the same strange symbol from the parchment scrap carved into the abbot's desk. Caught red-handed, the abbot confesses to the scheme, driven by an obsession with hoarding knowledge. Lawrence negotiates a deal. In exchange for returning the manuscript and keeping quiet about the theft, the abbot must make a generous donation to the Nyohhira bathhouse, supporting their efforts to provide a haven for travelers. The abbot begrudgingly agrees, and Fran thanks Lawrence and Holo for their help. On the journey back, Holo teases Lawrence for his merchant instincts kicking in, always finding a way to turn a profit. Lawrence counters that it's all for the sake of their family and friends. As they approach the bathhouse, they notice a commotion in the village square. Amidst the chaos, they spot a familiar head of red hair. Call has returned from his church travels, with Myuri by his side. The couple rushes to embrace their daughter, tears of joy streaming down their faces. Call shares tales of their adventures, from ancient ruins to bustling cities. Myuri gushes about the delicious food and kind people they met. However, the greatest revelation is saved for last. Cole and Myuri are engaged with the blessings of the church elders. Lawrence's jaw drops at the news, but Holo simply smiles knowingly. She's watched their love blossom over the years and couldn't be happier. Lawrence comes around quickly, realizing he couldn't ask for a better match for his daughter than the earnest, reliable Cole. The story ends with a lively celebration at the Spice and Wolf bathhouse, with Salim, Aram, Yoitsu, Fran, and other old friends joining in the festivities. Holo and Lawrence watch proudly as Cole and Myuri share a dance, their eyes full of love and promise. Though their own journey has reached a comfortable rhythm, Lawrence and Holo know there will always be new adventures on the horizon. For now, they're content to cherish the warmth of family and friends, grateful for the twisting path that led them to this moment. Hand in hand, the wise wolf and her merchant embark on their greatest journey yet, the simple joys of a life well lived, surrounded by the people they love. If you enjoyed this summary, please consider subscribing to the channel.